Beautiful divine masculine and feminine darlings. This is the Seraph Gem Gypsy, Seraph Indigo Empress, Shiloh Horizon. I don't plan to be here for too long. I have a whole bunch of stuff to share, so we'll see. I might split it up. In the meantime, I'm making some tea and I have a salad here. Cheers. So before I dive into what I would like to dive into, what I'm being called to check in on energetically, I mentioned the other day I had some tea to spill in the community board. And then I noticed that another person was trying to do the copycat, which played out in the last reading. This person also left a digital footprint, which I documented before, during, and after, in which they tried to basically separate themselves from the consequences of what they did, erase associations to their actions. But in doing so, because I anticipated this and I had already documented the prerequisite, I noticed when they went to cover their tracks as well. So I documented before, and now it shows that they tried to hide again. Anticipatory. In short. So the other day I was on the phone with a government agency. This was a government agency that has systems of information tied to the government, of course, and a number of them have big batches of resources in them, legal references or resources for people who need them, including rights of women and children. Here's the whistleblowing part. Okay. Now the other day, when I called, they went to do their job and get this information for me, per usual, just like they would at their job at any other time of the day or year, except for now that Trump has been in administration and has been going on a tirade and deleting information and going in government systems and just making a mess of things. When this person that I spoke with the other day that works for the government, that I called at their government job, went into their computer system to look up this information on the rights of women and children and resources on how to protect those who've been violated, they were gone. They were not accessible in these government systems, meaning Trump seems to be directly targeting women and children now. And we've known this. They've been trying to mess with the health care and the freedom of women's bodies, policing women's bodies. claiming it's for the rights of the children, but not caring about children that are alive and breathing that need help. Their priorities are off. They're just more concerned with policing women than actually being concerned with children. It's just an excuse for them. Oh, people can adopt. Are they going to adopt? Are they going to feed the children or pay for them to be fed? Because the adoption agencies are already overrun, in case you didn't know. Also, did you know that it's harder to place, statistically speaking, older children for a number of reasons, I think including people, one, want the experience of being able to raise their own child from birth and then on, or very young age and then on, like they would their own genetic child if they were able to have one, or whatever the situation is. Maybe they just wanted to adopt and they didn't actually want to have more kids themselves. But either way, however this plays out, often for a combination of reasons, maybe it's fear that a younger child will be more capable of connecting to them than the older child, or more specifically, fear that an older child will already be attached to whatever they went through, or their previous parents, or will have so much trauma from whatever they went through that put them in the system. Hi, kitty. Come on, baby. You silly goose. You want something? Want a treat? He's so cute, boy. Silly goose. Climbed up in the cabinet for a treat. There you go. I'll give you the cup. You want a couple too? For whatever combination of reasons, depending on the case and family dynamic, statistically speaking, it's harder to place older children. Sometimes, if they're not adopted when they're younger, or they're put in the system when they're older, they age out, meaning they turn 18 before they're adopted. It's often statistically harder. So where the same people that are arguing, that women shouldn't have the right to choose and that abortion should be legal, just put it bluntly, or abortion should be illegal, where are they when it comes to the other side of the argument, where we're showing them that there are flaws in their argument because people are suffering and the things that they're trying to do are only going to make more people suffer, more children, more women, and they're not helping the ones that are here? You think they're going to help the rest of them that they're forcing into existence? No. 822, okay. So that's a huge problem. And because of the danger behind it, it can easily be a trigger point. It's less angering, I think, than it is sad. I think the whole thing is just sad. And then there's more specifically this in the reference of people are often angry at Trump supporters, and I understand that, and it's easy to be, I understand the frustrated point. There are some people who are very toxic and they were just happy to have a pathological leader enabling their bad behaviors because he has the same ones. He was just showing them by example that their toxicity was okay, even though none of it is, not from a president or otherwise. It's that yes men, henchmen thing. They just go along with the same people that enable their bad, toxic behaviors and patterns and don't actually encourage them to evolve or require them to evolve. Come on, kitty. Let's turn them down a little bit. Also, I picked that up, Carmen, because you leave my animals alone. Let's do a little Reiki, shall we? Will I speak? There's illumination Reiki coming out too. So back on the main point, While it's easy to be defensive, frustrated in some cases, and there are some people who are toxic and they wanted a toxic leader who would support their toxicity and allow their toxicity and be an example of toxicity. A lot of people were gullible and naive. All right, Hitler was voted into power as well, first of all. And then I've even heard from some people who supported Trump. And when the tariff stuff was brought up and aspects of some of the terrorization of a lot of people, especially in regards to racial attacks, right? There have been Native Americans even who've been racially targeted and harassed by ICE. Native Americans threatened with deportation from our own land that white folk came in and took in the first place anyway. They forced us to move. I'm a Trail of Tears descendant, and then relocate to reserves and then harass the reserve natives now? Come on. Foolish. Racist. Not okay. Unacceptable. But when all of this was brought up, it was cognitive dissonance at its finest, trying to find a way to convince. They weren't convincing me. I think they thought that they were. They were voicing their own opinion. I think they were trying to convince themselves of this, or maybe they really believe it. But basically they were trying to say that Trump was doing the best that he could, and it was all for good reason, and they indoctrinated is what it is. And part of that, I think, is that they are so fearful of the reality of the situation. Like, if they don't try to convince themselves that all of that's good and dandy, which it's clearly not, it hasn't been, then they have to face a reality that's scary for them. And then also they have to take accountability for the fact that they're the ones who voted for him. Because it wasn't me. My name is not on that ballot. I did vote, just not for Trump. Okay, you can't blame me for that. And I'm not mad at or blaming those other people. That's why I say it's sad. They genuinely are so fearful and or so indoctrinated or so gullible that they believed it and are still trying to convince themselves of that, even though, I mean, this dude has risked nuclear war codes being leaked. This is not a small thing. All of a sudden he comes in with his panties in a bunch, chest puffed out, and even eagles don't like him. Come on, animals know. And messes up the economy, right? Starts conflict with all of the countries. It's just bad. And a lot of us saw it coming, and it wasn't simply because of the politics. It was because of a comprehension of psychology of narcissism, or those types of behavioral patterns, and more specifically, how they try to weaponize and maneuver through life. They try to weaponize things or people against others, and that's how they try to move through life and monopolize or dominate. And it's sneaky. Sometimes it's covert abuse, and sometimes it's not. But either way, whether it be politically like that, or militantly, or just on the civilian plane, psychologically speaking, with the psyop stuff, it's all the same. 1444. So when you recognize the pattern, it doesn't matter where it is. So as far as the next bit goes, you know what? Let me put another bit of tea in this while it's still very hot. whole bunch of energy, and because just like it's all the same, right? A narcissist is a narcissist. Because the last person and situation I found causing problems, which wasn't the first one, it's just another one, is following the same pattern that the rest of them did. It seems like more of a collective problem to me. It seems like just the Jezebel, narcissistic, jealous, competitive, karmic situation. So we're going to check in on that energy from a collective perspective. But I do feel like this is bridging on the energy or the same type of energy. It may not have to do with the exact situation, may not be in business, but there's some kind of energy, attempted usurpation, also slander campaign. I know that these karmics are still stalking, and watching and lurking and talking obsessively, talking crap behind the scenes, and also trying to bring our names up with other people. They want conversations around us. It's very strange. Also, that's like they're trying to dig up dirt on people, but the thing about that is, and we've seen this so many times, I say it every time these types of people decide to play these patterns again. Oh, they're so mad. 10:22. Why don't you just shut up and read the cards? Oh, because I'm channeling. I'm telling you things the cards will never. 10:22. So, ask and you shall receive. You're not going to like what I have to say, though. What God has to say through me. Thank you. I give my body unto you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, what did I tell you? Their social media posts and memes are directed towards you, so they'll talk crap behind the scenes. For me, somebody trying to compete with in this field, but that's what I mean. It might be different for different people. Not everybody has the same one as me. I did notice this also. It's dead winter. There shouldn't be bugs popping up, but I noticed one yesterday, and like there's massive amounts of snow on the ground, and it was at the same time the karmic energies, in particular the ones in relation to the reading yesterday, were trying to cause problems. So this is an addict. Well, that's who is causing problems. Yeah, what did I say? I just split the deck? Told you. You need to cut it out. Okay, anything else? Tell me about this. Yeah, they're trying to recruit haters, and I've seen it before. They're called flying monkeys. It's like the Wizard of Oz, and that's what it's taken from when I talk about the comparisons between them, whether it be politically speaking or otherwise. That's how narcissists work. And there are references in psychology that are taken from politics and that are also taken from the military, like the scorched earth tactic. It's that if I can't have you, nobody else can type of a thing. Like narcissists, if they can't possess you or control you, yeah, see, already done. They want to destroy you. I hear if you can't beat them, join them, but when you know that that person's toxic and you don't want to let them back, so you won't let them join you, then they want to destroy you. Like they couldn't destroy you, right? So then they want to come back, but you won't let them because they tried to destroy you, and then they're mad, so they try. Oh, crazy pants. Crazy pants. Look what just hit the deck. Fell right on the floor. So extra emphasis on that. We know. You're not secret. Black obsidian. Take your pick. This is specifically Siberian jet obsidian. So this is a person with air sign, or excuse me, earth sign in their chart, but the one yesterday that I've been clearing out the energy of, that is somebody with a mixed bag of energy, but they're also earth sign in their chart. Yeah, see? Somebody who sends psychic attacks. Oh, told you. Somebody who you cut off, you won't let them back. Oh, I tried to destroy you, compete with you, take over your life, and when I couldn't beat you, so now I want to join you, but since I tried to beat you, you won't let me join you, and so now I want to try to conquer you again. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you. 21, 22. 22. Divine Masculine's laughing. I'm glad you think it's funny. Here's the thing, okay? Speaking of usurpation, I picked up in the shower this morning some past life regression, okay? And the energy from yesterday trying to attack me has, there's a crossover tie from a past life where this, I heard conquistador, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, possibly. Conquistador. But basically it's a military reference, a Spanish military reference. And here's the thing, it's coming from the Trail of Tears to send in here. They came in and tried to conquer and monopolize places, conquistadors, okay? It means a conquest. That's the translation, roughly. But they were often really prone to targeting Native Americans, all right? So there's that. There's some past life motive for you. She's replaying that. So this might be somebody who plays with dark energy. Make sure you take good care of yourself and your body. If not, they're sending negative intentions because they're in low self-esteem. And I picked that up. Some people don't understand that sitting there stalking and sending negative thoughts and energy and being weird like that towards somebody, baby, that's black magic. When you sit there and you slander and you gossip and you try to play the victim in a situation you created and you're not, yeah, that's word witching. That's black magic. There's karma for that. 2322. Whether you call it karma or universal backlash or divine providence or simply Newton law, quantum law, it's all the same. So maybe make better choices. What did I just say? While I was in the shower, I picked that up. Yep. They can't stand to see you shine. Better buy a visor. I picked up that these people feel like the truth coming out has destroyed them also. And like their businesses, especially if these are people who try to build themselves or their businesses off the backs of other people or by snatching content or trying to plagiarize the, like doppelgang the essence of somebody else. Ew, I just got a flash of that person who's been copying Ariana Grande. She should be in jail. She was videographing herself walking into different establishments and claiming that she was Ariana Grande so she could get into very high waitlisted, very high priced restaurants. But that's identity theft, dude. And they were videographing it and then posting it on YouTube for clout, that they were committing crimes online. And I thought it was funny in the title. I saw this too. What was it? Committing a little fraud for fun or something like that. I'm like, you're dumb. That's dumb. Bonafide whistleblower, babe. You know what I did? I backtracked where he was and what location he was at, because it was a guy doing it with her. And then I handed the information and the evidence over to the police department in his town. Checkmate. Don't do that. I don't care who you are. Who do you think you are? Yeah, see, situation you darn well know you created all by yourself. Your own worst enemy. It's self-sabotage. Greatest self-sabotage known to man. That's why people are stepping away from you. That's disgusting. Nobody wants to be around that, dude. Yeah, well, yeah, remember that. And I picked this up earlier. Some of these people are quite promiscuous, so they either have dark energies, like incubus, succubus energies attached to them, or they, whether they know it cognitively or not, are trying to send these towards other people, or they are latching because this is what they are. This is what they embody themselves. They have tried to latch onto us and try to mess with the dream state. And I saw that. There was a situation where it's like, let's say you cut off a friend in a friend group, or you delete somebody from your Facebook or your social media, or you step away from somebody, right? They'll go to anybody that they think is a mutual friend, or even people that aren't mutual, even people they think don't know you, which in some cases that's better for them, because then they can try to sway in their mind their version of the story. And then if you're not there, this is called backbiting, by the way. A very toxic trait. Then if you're not there to share your version of the story, they think that people will believe them, and then they'll just either side with them, poor you, poor victim, or they'll target you with them based on those lies. That's what their goal is. Just jealousy here. In some cases, these are people who hook up with or latch onto ex people that you dealt with to try to target. In other cases, that's a reference towards the fact that they're jealous of the fact that you've had love, or that you are called to, destined to move into that. Look, victory is, I split the deck exactly. There's one more here. Let's see what I split it on. Look, the energy work that you have done and has worked. Negative energies dissipating. Exactly. Yeah, you're being watched by multiple people who don't have your best interest at heart. So when I pulled this deck out, a few cards fell. And these were not supposed to be in there, but they were. They can't operate on the frequency you're on, so those evil eyes, those go blind. Anyway, those have gone blind. But if this is not these people trying to cause legal troubles for you, then it's the fact that they've put themselves in the line of fire for litigation for what they've done. And either they've been trying to do mirror work, or this is them trying to mirror your essence or your personality, so that's backfiring. In other cases, I just heard they didn't want to look in the mirror or do the shadow work. Yep. In other cases, this is a reference of other people seeing what they've done to you, clearly. And then there are also people who are stepping in or have stepped in to protect. See the dream attacks. All because somebody wanted to take from you, whether this be ideas or your destiny path or whatever. But they're being cleared out, so don't worry. Or they've been cleared out. Let's see. Let's move these out of the way, just to make a little bit more space. That's probably ready now. Yum, it smells good. Get out of there. Too hot to drink though. So we'll leave her over here. Let's see. Can I get some cards for the, okay, stack of them came out. Energies. I hear plagiarizers and doppelgangers. People being opponents. I also heard spiritual attack and stealing. Okay, psychic vampire, exactly. Energy vampires. Toxic. So you were to have your guard up against them, or they're mad that you do. They're mad that you figured it out. But how could you not? Their energy stinks. Oh, I heard that earlier. I picked up that this is a... they do not like this truth. A Jezebel karmic female energy. And... it was coming up as a few things. Baba Yaga was one reference. The old hag. Even if it's not an old person, this is the energy just mean and jealous, vindictive, malicious, nasty, but fraudulent. I think like Hansel and Gretel tries to lure the kids in by pretending to be nice, that kind of a thing. It's all a facade. It's all about reputation. And then the harpy demons, and they do... typically, they're known mythologically speaking to stink. It's one of their traits. So sounds like they need a bath. I just took one to cleanse their energy out, but it seems like they need one because they stink and up. Enemy wanting to get close with you because they need something to gain something against you. It's like they want to dig up dirt on you, but they're looking for dirt because they have dirt. They're projecting, whether they know it or not. Financial loss. And maybe if you called them out or they got caught trying to steal from you, or smile in my face, whole time they want to take my place. Heard, and they look up to me like a baby, will show up, they go up to me, straight up to my face. Financial loss. Whoa, there must be maybe a loss in love, but definitely money. Because they were trying to take from someone else or block someone else. Like 555. Yeah. So this is about getting to the core of things. You have to address a situation, then address a situation, but don't let these people distract you or throw you off course. They're negative. These are negative people, right? Negative people look for a problem within every solution. Positive people seek to find a solution for every problem. So if you focus on the light, focus on yourself, healing yourself, this positive energy, what they're doing and what they did and what they're thinking, and all of that jazz won't matter, won't have any impact because you don't let it. At least on that note. For this particular channel. You're like water off a duck's back, exactly. And you can't control other people. And there was a message about that too. Like, for me, I'll give you a quick personal example. I know that I deserve better than to tolerate toxicity and abuse. I walked away from it and put boundaries up, and people broke the law and stalked and harassed and abused and then tried to cover their tracks to get away with it. I asked for help through the proper authorities and channels, and when they weren't doing their jobs and helping, I still sought through my own means and continue to do so other avenues of resourcefulness. And so I've already learned those lessons. I know that those things are not okay. I can't control other people whether they're choosing to dismiss the lesson or they're just not getting it, whether they know that they shouldn't do those things and they're choosing to do them anyway, or they really just don't grasp it. Either way, that's their issue, not mine. That's their free will choice to either stick their head in the sand or refuse to seek a higher level of comprehension if they don't understand. That's their issue. But in my particular case, it's also part of my particular path. God sent me as karma, so when these people when these people were judging or misjudging or trying to blame me, I get this all the time, like, why don't you just go to the court and this and that? Well, you know, financial abuse, for example, is a very common weaponized domestic abuse tactic. And then when you pair that with the fact that I happen to be in the state, the one state in the United States of America, 1 out of 50 states that doesn't have a program for legal help for people in situations like that, well, it creates an impossible situation. And then again, I knew it was an issue. I brought evidence to a judge, but you see, when criminals are family and friends with the judge and they hire their lawyer, their aunties and uncles to be their lawyers, and they've got lawyers, they've got judges who are aunties and uncles in the circuit. It doesn't matter when you're dealing with a small town and corruption. That's not, I already know through that. So basically, I was a test and they failed it. God sent me as karma. It's not my fault people choose to target. That's their bad choice. That's why I won't stoop to their level. I don't want that karma. Cheers. I've already learned the lessons that they're refusing or incapable of grasping. It's sad. Abused ability. So some of them know. And some people may have started out intuitive or with gifts or what have you, but when they abuse them or decided to step on the toes of the same people who helped them, I hear helped them up, gets knocked out from under them. When you try to use other people as stepping stones, you will always lose your balance eventually. Look, stank ass. People put their guard up. They don't want to be around that because these people are energy vampires. What's their karma? 5, 5, 5. Changes. So they're going to have to watch you move on. Yeah, see, look. Watching your successes and achievement has made them bitter. Well, move in silence. Yeah, they don't know what's going on. There's also been a reason I've been very busy. I've been handling a bunch of stuff, but I've also been called to be a little bit quiet on some things lately because there's been so much theft. It's not stopping me from fulfilling my calling, but what I noticed is that when the OGs don't come, they don't have anything to steal. Backstabber, yeah. And I posted about that, right? I think in the comment section or the description box of the video from yesterday. I'll link it in the down bar about a backstabbing reference verbatim. So their karma is that they're caught for backstabbing and they're going to feel stabbed in the back. Like, people don't want to deal with them. You know what I saw? I saw these karmics going to complain about the light workers that they were stealing from or trying to step on for calling them out, right? They were trying to play the victim, and they went to people and tried to get groups of people to be upset with whoever they'd been targeting. And people didn't agree with them. People Two things. But let me start off with the karmic's perspective. They went to somebody, they were trying to recruit, mutual friend or something, and tried to say, the light worker's talking about me, and really the light worker's just telling the truth and whistleblowing, but they're saying it's a lie and they're trying to play the victim. And so they think that this victim story, sub-story narrative will make people be swayed in their favor, but people either can see through them, or they actually understand, or they know the person that's being trash talked about, and they know that this person is lying, or they can just see through it regardless of whether they know the light worker or not. I hear real recognizes real, right? And so this karmic looks fake to them, and that's what they're saying. They're looking at this karmic, or that's what the message boils down to be, but they're saying two things. One, why are you stalking this light worker? Like, it wouldn't be an issue if you weren't stalking them. And two, they think that they're wrong. They do not agree with the karmic. They agree with the perspective of the light worker. They see from the light worker's perspective. I just heard two things. I mean, it's not even about perspective. I'm hearing there's, there it is. Undeniable, I hear, incontrovertible evidence. Meaning, smoking gun. They've been caught red-handed. If this is me as a whistleblower, it means I have the smoking gun, meaning the piece of information that can, well, really put them in a pickle. We'll just say it that way. And so they know the light worker is telling the truth, but that means they also know the karmic was not. Pretty much. And they're also grossed out by this karmic. They think it's immature and, frankly, pretty toxic and malicious that they would do something like this or steal from somebody. I hear try to step on somebody and swap their destinies. Speaking of, let me it's still way too hot to drink. Do a touch of Reiki now. And then there's sovereignty Reiki coming through. This will help clear out situations that are imbalanced and unethical, especially where people were in some kind of like power struggle. They were having, what is that? I just heard clash. It was a Titans. All right. You know what I also keep hearing? Carry on my wayward son, don't you cry no more. 44. It's elevation Reiki too, so I'll lift out of toxic situations. We still need to push forward. And don't look back. If this means you're culling like bad apples, bad fruit out of your life, tossing it out, releasing dead connections, and do so. I hear don't look back. It's giving Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot. There's an energy coming through for peace. And then also I heard eloquence. So helping you articulate, either just in general or putting your words into, your feelings into words. This is also being able to be understood or being able to articulate yourself in a way that you are easily comprehended. Again, you still need to put the effort in, but this should help with that. And it often ends up being a lot more seamless. Please remember to hydrate. I just heard imitation Reiki. Just to clear out any, again, doppelganger energy. Specifically, wow. Do you hear that? Throat chakra jump? They're very low vibrational. I feel it. They're coming from a low elevation point. You know what I just got a flash of? This is what they're embodying energetically. Ursula the Sea Witch trying to steal Ariel's voice and then masquerade in a version, even in physical appearance, of themselves that's not really themselves. There was a mirror. She looked in the mirror in that movie too. And so while we're here, just really quickly, and to be fair, because I did read that karmic's birthday, destiny path. Let me read you mine, just to be fair. This is why trying to copy me doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it will not work for people. Certainly not the way they want it to. And even if they may be able to gain some degree of traction at first, it crumbles eventually because it's not real. It's certainly not divinely backed, which is all that matters. And it has no standing, it has no support, so no foundation. People that copy me and think it's cool or think that they can make a business out of it or do something just because I do, you're not doing it for the right reasons. You don't understand it. And if you weren't willing to do it and advocate for a just cause and speak up about things and use the gifts and your platform for the right things, regardless of whether it brought you money or cost you money, because yeah, whistleblowing makes you a target, and often, yeah, in my case, costs you money, especially when you're being targeted specifically by narcissists and sociopaths at minimum. You need to be able to be willing to stand up and speak for nothing, even if it costs you money. And not because you think it'll make you more money in the long run, regardless of whether it will or not, because it's the right thing to do, and that's the calling. That's God calling you. These people aren't doing it for the right reasons. It was a short-term thing for them. Or like easy money. That's what they thought. My prices are about to change. I have mentioned for quite some time that they are subject to change and will be going up. They will be going up again. I'm not done. But They're going up. I will also keep that sliding scale that I've always had since I started here many years ago. Since before 2017, but 2017 on here. Meaning if you cannot meet my prices, but you need help, you can still come to me and talk to me and I will happily help you. It's not about the money. I'm going to charge what I'm worth, and even then, I really should still be boosting them a little bit more, so I will be doing that eventually. But in the meantime, because they're going up a substantial amount, I'm going to keep them at a mid-range, comparatively speaking, to what I could be charging, should be charging, and in the future am being called to charge. So there's that. But regardless, if you need help, just say so, and we can work it out. Somebody says, how? It depends on the situation. In some cases, I do pro bono work. In a lot of cases, I do pro bono work. In other cases, people donate what they can afford or whatever. There's a mid-range. If you need help, you need help, and that's okay. I understand not having the resources, but still needing the help. People still need to make a living, but I understand. So here we go. Individuals on the way of expression. See, my path is to speak up about these things. Come into this lifetime with spiritual faculties that allow them not only to look into the hearts and minds of others, but are also so highly empathetic, and their intuitive and psychic abilities are so well developed that one may ask, what were they up to in previous incarnations? And like I've told you, even in this reading, because I got another download on a past life regression in the shower this morning, I can tell you, and often do, as a past life regressionist. Blessed with many magical gifts, the individuals on this karmic path are fated not only to be in touch with unseen realms, but to express their visionary views. Those on this path are called to be prophets of sorts. Often found in the arts, these people learn to manifest the unseen as the seen and tap into spiritual realms to draw from them and create an end product for others to share. Surely this in itself is a great achievement, as well as one of the tasks involved with pursuing this spiritual path. A spiritual path. Embarking on this journey requires being ready to cross boundaries of space and time. Should those on this path accept the task of being prophets of their time, they must hone their intuition to razor sharpness and summon the kind of courage needed to speak to the public at large. Hello. Although this can be done with words, those on this karmic path may also find a form of physical expression for themselves. It is their destiny to become a spiritual medium or channel for the benefit of society as a whole, but there's karma for trying to steal and plagiarize and claim to be me when you're not and you don't have the skill set to do so. And you're certainly not being given the divine clearance to try. God didn't call you to try to copy me. But God did call me to be who you're trying to copy. To accomplish such a highly personal journey and plug into alternate forms of energy, they'll need to spend a great deal of time alone. This path necessitates diving fearlessly into the more dark and perilous areas of their own psyches, speaking of psychology, and as well as the collectives, speaking of this collective. Letting in the light of spirit through meditation and prayer, and maintaining a positive attitude, while at the same time developing the strength and willpower to contact the shadow side when they choose to, is critical to survival. As much as the individuals on this path would like to totally withdraw from the outside world, it is usually their destiny to emerge from their periods of going inward, to share what they've experienced with the world at large. As they are naturally shy, this may prove difficult at first. Because they really prefer to be on their own a great deal, it is the irony of their fate to attract many friends and admirers. In this way, life is quietly ensuring that they will fulfill their task. In addition, their personalities are of such affectionate and seductive nature that they will almost never be at a loss for lovers or other admirers. Constantly surrounded by adoring fans, that's what those plagiarizers are too, stans, stalking obsessed fans. Constantly surrounded by that which these souls connect with on a regular basis. Those on this path may find it difficult to have as much alone time as they need. This is why they need to develop the willpower to isolate themselves periodically and later force themselves to go out into the glare of public spotlight. In their social profession or family group, they are likely to establish high standards and over the years guide the development of the groups to which they belong in matters of taste and advanced thought. This path is akin to Pandora's box, opened perhaps out of curiosity, but also a need to see the truth. Two problems emerge once it is opened: how to close it again, and how to deal with the wild spirits that have been released. Those on this path must not have only the courage to face what is inside the box, but also the strength to deal with it once the box is opened. In many ways, such individuals are our representatives, and we are spared the exalted agonies that they endure for us. Like these people trying to copy me after I've put in the hard work. They're trying to copy the outside appearance while wanting to skip every step that it took to build what they're copying. The shell of what they're copying anyway. Anyway. Oh, silly karmics. All right. So, as far as, wow, they really don't like this truth. Third eye closed. They're being hateful and their third eye is closed. You know what quote I've been hearing today about these types of people is, you know, you can drink the alkaline water and do the yoga and take the supplements and all this stuff, but unless you're ready to do the work, the hard work that it takes, and really look at yourself and fix the unhealthy things that are in your heart and mind, you're going to be unhealthy. And that's what these people are doing. They're doing this weird obsessive copycat thing out of jealousy, but that started out as admiration, quickly turned into jealousy because they're inspired by you and they admire or they like something about you, but then they wish that they could have it or be it, and they realize they can't. And so then they get mad. And that inspiration and admiration pretty quickly turns to jealousy, and that jealousy pretty quickly spirals into rage or some kind of hatred, malice. It's gross. Weird competition, yeah, abused abilities. So they were targeting people they shouldn't have been. You shouldn't be targeting any people, but they definitely cooked the goose with this one, I heard. Insomnia. So this is somebody who either is having trouble sleeping or they've been trying to or want to mess with people or stress people out to the point where they're not sleeping. Even just by causing situations that are nonsensical or have to be dealt with. Catfish, so they're not honest about who they are, including online battle. Yeah, so they're trying to spiritually attack. Anything else? Tower. They're going to be facing worse layers of karma. I also picked up that if there's a karmic going around claiming that they have PTSD, maybe they do, I'm not discrediting that. But because they're trying to combat somebody who has, let's say, complex PTSD or some worse variant and degree, not to compare pain, but when you're talking about CPTSD versus PTSD, yes, on DSM, CPTSD is tier 2 trauma. Dissociative identity, which used to be called multiple personality, that's tier 3, but regular PTSD tier 1, so it actually medically, diagnostically is worse. And so this karmic is trying to cause problems for somebody that medically, diagnostically has worse layers of trauma than them, has been through more than them, has been through worse than them. And their karma is that they're about to go through more things, which are going to force them to see things from the light worker's perspective and what they went through. And why a lot of the things that this karmic is going through right now aren't as big of a deal as they think it is, because when you have CPTSD, it's actually, you've been through much worse. So actually all of the symptoms, like regular PTSD is like a walk in the park, cakewalk. Like, speaking from experience, you think that you lose sleep, insomnia with PTSD, pfft, girl, please. You wouldn't last a day with CPTSD. And you know what? How I know that, not to judge, I used to think the same thing when I had regular PTSD. Now, I didn't go about targeting people like this, or copycatting people, but when I did end up being so abused to the point where I developed CPTSD by the same people who tried to bully and did bully my husband to death and then held my child hostage because they thought it would hurt my feelings, which, yeah, hello, hostage situations create trauma, especially ongoing, especially when what CPTSD is like you don't know, you run out of solutions, and it's hard to push somebody who's a creative problem solver out of solutions, but you really have to be criminal and grimy and dirty, or in the authorities have to not be doing their job, but it really has to be a situation, you know? It's different. That's their lesson that they failed. Balancing the heart, and because they were heartless. Like, who doesn't help women and children that are being targeted by bigoted people who've already been convicted and gone to jail for abusing them before? You know what I mean? Not even just convicted and gone to jail for abusing other people before. No, the same victims that they're retargeting. I didn't do it. Well, your previous criminal record says you did. That's not true. Just don't look at it. Pretend it doesn't exist. 11:11 on the clock. No, that's not going to happen. You see, that's what they tried to get the authorities to do. That's what they tried to pay people off in the system to do. And that's why they're in trouble. They catch karma for it. It's very sad. The whole thing is just sad. Show no fear. It will pass. Yeah, but you stand your ground. You stand your ground. Here, do no harm, take no shit. Right. Just heard flashbacks. Yeah. Yeah, no, those are nothing, comparatively speaking. Like, I understand that it feels bad, but let me tell you what, if you had CPTSD, you'd wish that you only had regular PTSD. You think you have trouble sleeping with PTSD? Oh, let me tell you what. You lose a lot more with regular, with CPTSD. And I never lost sleep over whistleblowing or whether speaking up was the right thing to do. I've lost plenty of sleep over whether or not victims and light workers were all right and my hostage child was being treated well. And frankly, I knew she wasn't. And guess what? Then when the records and the truth about it came out, she wasn't. And I felt that. And I saw it. She told me. All these years they tried to hold her hostage and brainwash her, and she's still asking to come home. They tried to Stockholm syndrome. They did Munchausen by proxy. They tried to Stockholm syndrome. It didn't work. She still wants to come home. Tried to tell her all these nasty things because they wanted her to be upset. But that's the thing, is it didn't match the reality. So confused her because she was being gaslighted, but she didn't believe it because it wasn't the truth. That's why she's still asking to come home. Short opportunist. This is karmics. They saw an opportunity to make some money or target people or steal from people, and they took it. Those are the same types of people on the extreme levels of recklessness and impulsiveness. Like, if they saw somebody left the keys in a car that was unlocked, they'd jack it just because it was there, just because they could, just because it was tempting. Underactive sacral chakra, their lack of creativity and originality is making them, jealous. I told you. Which is why they felt the need to copycat. Anything else? Yeah, somebody who's jealous of other people's love or love lives. You need to get a hobby, a couple of them. Stay out of other people's lives. Karmic. Crazy pants. What's wrong with people? Karmic says, well, who are you just gonna make me? Oh, I'm impartial to it, but I hear that God's gonna cut you down. I wouldn't advise that, babe. You can run on for a long time. And they did. They kept going with these patterns for quite some time. But now they're caught. Now they're in trouble for it. cord cutting. Thank you, Holy Team, Archangel Michael, for that. A couple of my decks got mixed up. Don't know. I smell coffee. Look, the fake friend right at the bottom. Yep, just like the last reading. Pressed. They can't stop thinking about you. Steady throwing shade and having your name in their mouth. I told you. Picked that up earlier, off the cuff. 17, 17, 17, 22. All right. I'm really ready to be done with this reading. This energies, I'm over it. Like I said, indifferent. They're not worth it. But I do know that sometimes it helps to have a little bit of clarity about the energies being thrown. So I'm sending, look, there it is. I split the deck. Divine protection. What's in between that? Abandonment. They feel upset because you walked away. Don't give us reasons to walk away and then blame us for walking away. Like being toxic and abusive and stealing and being fake and then wondering why people don't want to be around you. For starters. Oh. Identity thief, told you. They took on yours and others' identities. They'll move on and move to the next victim. Being extra, they were trying to compete, doing the most, but they can't keep up. Yeah, cursing or hexing. It's dark magic, whether they know it or not. And in some cases, I'm hearing that they do. In some cases, they're trying to call on different deities or demons or gods, and no. Backfire. Also, they respect me. Both realms. Or fear me. Yeah, so fake opportunist. Watches you and others to see what they can get or take from you. Make it their own. Said that earlier, too. And the same people that are copying content, often trash talking the same people that they're copying, and using their platform to make money off the stuff that they're copying. They're not using their platforms to advocate for other people or speak up about anything or using them for good cause. They're using them, making posts to make money for themselves, but not actually anything lucrative or truly beneficial, especially when they're just regurgitating and repeating the same things that they took from other people and then often twisted it out of context within some kind of rhetoric perspective. They're bored with their own lives, so they're focusing on yours. Well, you need to get a grip. And again, another hobby. Go focus on the ones you had. Go to therapy. Seek out another to help you with protection work. Yeah, so basically they're saying call on Archangel Michael for protection. What did I say? Thank you for the dream help, sending love. Your confidence triggers them. Too bad. Making fake social media accounts and trying to interfere with your life. Yeah, that's not new. I picked that up earlier too. Return to sender. Well, that's not going to be well for them. Backfire. And I'm also picking up the same people that tried to recruit others against light workers. They're looking at them funny, like, first of all, why are you trying to cause problems for them? And second of all, why are you stalking them? Just stop. Leave them alone. Why are you doing this? They're telling them to not be reckless and impulsive and make a bad choice because they're upset also. They wish they were granted the same opportunities coming your way. Opportunists, your light irritates their shadows. They're holding on to a grudge, stalking, watching, obsessing over your every move. Creep. Maliciously sending you, wishing you harm or misfortune. Yeah, that's the evil eye. Black magic. Backfire. They wish they were as likable. Well, you're sending nasty energy at people. What did you expect? They envy your personality and your persona. Yeah, that's why they tried to copycat. Using spell work to bring about misfortunes, whether it's cognitive or just the word witching and gossip and slander. But in this case, I'm picking up that they know what they're doing. I'm seeing somebody try to do a what is that? Casting a circle, so stone circle or something for a ritual, or something with an altar. Just stupid. It's just going to bring them more karma. Unexplained body aches, tension, or pain. Yeah, it's that incubus succubus energy. They act friendly to your face and they talk behind your back. That's why nobody wants to be around them. That's why people are siding with the light workers they targeted and not them. They're not the victim they claim to be, and people can see that. They constantly and randomly bring you up to others to talk about you. Told you. Trying to affect your relationships and close connections. Watching your successes and achievements has made them bitter. I think we did these already. Random issues in your day-to-day life is what they're trying to cause, even just energetically. But I do feel like it's more than that. It's the fake accounts and the gossip and the slander and an attempt to try to ruin your reputation or ruin, just slander. Because if they can't do that, then people are going to see what they did to you, and they don't want that. So they feel like they need to destroy you to save themselves, and that's pretty gross. It's also not very mature or responsible. It's definitely not intuitive. Because if they saw where that was going to lead, I think they might think twice. But they get so wrapped up in trying to get an outcome, they think they're going to win if they just do another little thing or they just push it a little further. And just leave people alone instead. A much better time. Well, I guess that depends. Some of them don't like to sit with their own thoughts. Silly. Okay, let's do anything else. Let's do this one. Let's do some healing focus. I see that karmic watching my video and taking notes. Hopefully they're trying to see what they can post about later. That's crazy. Release fear. See your emotions as teachers. Set clear boundaries. Yeah, I said no. It's not a grudge, dude. It's a boundary. You can handle this. Don't worry about it. Ask for dream guidance. Thank you. I already talked about that earlier. Before I came here, actually, but also a little while ago. It came out again, and there it goes a third time. Assert your authentic needs. Right. Like not tolerating toxicity or people who don't want to take accountability. They don't want to admit that they were doing things. They obviously know that it's wrong. If you didn't think it was such a problem, then you wouldn't care. But they do think it's a problem, so they don't want people to know about it. So they try to cover it up, or they try to call the victim crazy, or whatever. They know. They're okay with trying to call honest people liars to salvage themselves, but they don't want people to know what they did. Pretty much. This tea smells so good. Mm. It is. In fact, I think this is the best cup I've had in a long time. And I've had some pretty good cups lately, but I like this one. Yummy. Okay. I'm going to stop after this one for now. Like I said, I thought I might split this reading up because it did seem to be getting a little long. There's Serenity Reiki coming through, also Halo Reiki. There's an elevation and ascension of angelic support and help to those who are actually in alignment with that higher source energy and not faking the funk and trying to cover up what they've done like these karmics. For starters, stifled, bored, and stuck. Yeah, see, they were bored with their lives, so they were trying to figure out how to take yours or cause problems in yours. Time to change, to learn something new, using technology and gadgets with wisdom. So these people were not. They were using tech to try to copy people and steal from people through this process. No. Yeah, they're being told to back off. Voodoo and blue. Drop it with the little spell work things you've been doing. Crazy pants. What does this say? Angel of time. Yeah. They're being removed because you're not supposed to have to burn yourself out like that. What goes around? And I heard that. I wrote that down on the whiteboard over here. What goes around comes around. I heard Karma by Alicia Keys. Also, here, she's with me. David, what is that? David, goodness gracious. I might be getting this wrong. David Allen, maybe? Anyway, I heard, how am I supposed to stop myself from you? It's Callum Scott. I also heard Hallelujah by Brandon Lake. Especially the version where he just came out with Jelly Roll on it, featuring Jelly Roll. Super good. It's time to be brave. Yeah. Standing up and telling the truth and defending yourself against these toxic people. I would say that. Strangely lonely, holding on way too tight. Yeah, these people did not want to let light workers go. We're here. Halloween, trick-or-treating. And you know that card deck that I pulled earlier, one of them, or no, it's this one. I'll do this one too. So this grimy person tried to present themselves as sweet. All right, anything else with this? There's love coming through. The crap storm that they caused for other people or tried to is backfiring on them. Tempting offer has a high price. They should have backed off. And they still can to avoid their karma getting worse. There's divine providence, the universe backlashing. Clockwork pumpkin. Yeah, they don't want to keep pushing it. glamour. They're being fake. Angel of alchemy. It's why they're being cleared out. These cycles are ending once and for all, Callie. Okay, anything else? I also mentioned in my last post the Trinity. That's why my logo is the Trinity. I'll link it in the down bar. But I also have picked up karmic witches trying to do power of free spells because they think it will protect them from their karma. It won't. Fairy of the divine hand, because it's all about the divine. God is the one who gives that gift of sight and also can take it away from people like that who are abusing it, not being a light to others, but like I said, copying from, let's say somebody, like in my case, a spiritual person, claiming to be spiritual, but you're doing things that are in opposition to that, stealing from somebody in one case, not giving credit. I'm trying to be in opposition to somebody. The whole destiny swap thing, just very inappropriate, strange, weird, you know. And I noticed that one of the people doing this to me recently, two things. First of all, they said that they're in debt. They are in financial debt. So there's a motive for stealing and doing what they're doing. And also that when they quit their job that they were doing that was a lucrative job for them, comparatively speaking, or brought other avenues like more traction in their socials, which they leveraged or could have leveraged, they started having trouble. Meaning, in other words, 8822, when they were doing what they were called to do, seemingly, things were going well for them, financially speaking, in relation to business and what have you. But the second they started trying to quit their day job to copy me, yeah, crap started to hit the fan. And they've struggled to get that business off the ground, comparatively speaking. Not speculatively, that was based on posts that one of these people made themselves. Count your blessings. Yeah, see, they were supposed to be grateful for what they had. Instead, they were greedy. They quit their day job because they thought that mine looked more enticing. Very impulsive, clean up, toxic. They're toxic. This is a toxic person. Winged seer, you see clearly, clairvoyant, but I'm not falling for it. And neither should you. I heard capiche. Yeah, miracle, angel of alchemy, because God is the one who has the final say on it and is the one who guided this to be seen in the first place. Ancient wisdom. Oh, and she's mad. It's karmic for being exposed. Look at the red. Because she's not been herself. She's been copying someone else. Okay. I pushed it too far. She took it too far. Yep. Just clean up my station really quickly. Hold on. I just heard the name Malachi. Malachi. I also just heard the word Adonai. It's Jewish. Let's see what this Halloween energy had to say. Apples in reverse. What did I say earlier? Those bad apple karmics had no harvest, so they tried to snatch other people's. Or they were jealous and tried to snatch other people's graveyard. Elements, the underworld. Yeah, so this is a person who's not actually in touch with the ancestors, and I also picked up something in some cases for some people about people trying to go towards ancestors. I've been picking this up for a while. Someone tried to do this to my grandmother too. Grave sites and take graveyard dirt to do spell work, like black elemental magic or energy. But that backfired. God said, nope. Yeah, any candle magic or spells that they were trying to do in order to get things to go in their favor, that backfired. Didn't work. Anything else? I think we're good with this one. I think I'm going to drop the mic right there, my darlings. Please remember to pray. Do no harm. Take no crap. And I will catch you on the next one. Blessings and namaste. Toodles.